And the Capitol Hill siege is making headlines around the world. Take a look at some of the front pages from newspapers overseas. ABC News senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell is in London with the international reaction. Ian, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Diane. The world was watching, the world was shocked, it was disappointed, and it showed solidarity, and it was reflected on the front pages of the British newspapers. Now, remember that more than 1,000 people died of coronavirus in the last 24 hours. On any other day, on any other year, that would, of course, made front-page headlines, but the events that unfurled where you are were the ones that dominated. So here we have the Times of London, U.S. Capitol under siege, and that striking photo there of the U.S. plainclothes officers drawing their guns. And we know that shots were fired. The Daily Telegraph, again, one of those iconic images from that siege of Congress, democracy under siege. One of the other newspapers, and this is reflected in a number of them, The Independent here in the UK, very simply said, anarchy in the USA. And we've seen that again from a number of the newspapers. The Economist magazine has just come out with its latest edition, and that is their front page there. Trump's legacy, and again, one of those striking, iconic images, the images that many people couldn't imagine would happen. I'd like to move on actually now to some of the tweets by world leaders. Again, almost every European leader certainly responded. We saw condemnation, shock from France, from Germany, from Spain, Norway, Denmark, the list goes on and on. First of all, here in the UK, the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said, and I quote, tweeted, "Disgraceful scenes in the US Congress. The United States stands for democracy around the world, and it's now vital there should be a peaceful and orderly transfer of power." And I think that was reflected in many of the tweets. It wasn't just a case of the single events taking place in the US and the US seat of democracy, but what it represents to many countries and many people around the world. But there was also, and this is a useful German phrase here, Schadenfreude. This was a sort of malicious joy at what's happened from America's enemies. We've seen the Iranian president tweeting, essentially saying that this was about a failure of American democracy. The Venezuelan government, again, which has been under direct pressure from the Trump administration, saying U.S. foreign policy consistently promotes these policies of aggression against legitimate democratic processes worldwide. Again, many people blaming President Trump and his supporters directly for fomenting this. Very strong statement from Angela Merkel, the German chancellor, who's normally very, very reserved, directly blaming President Trump. Simon Coveney, the Irish foreign minister, saying we must call this out for what it is: a deliberate assault on democracy by a sitting president and his supporters attempting to overturn a free and fair election. The world is watching. The world certainly was watching, and the world was certainly shocked by what it saw. Diane?
Ian Pannell for us, ABC News senior correspondent. Thanks, Ian.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.